Now, when the Duke of Edinburgh's death was announced on Friday, the nation's broadcasters, including this one, Channel 4, rearranged their schedules to make way for extended programmes paying tribute to his life. But it seems that blanket coverage prompted viewers to reach for their remotes to switch off or switch over to alternative offerings. The Sun newspapers reported that there were more than 100,000 complaints to the BBC criticising the hours given over to the death of the 99-year-old royal consort. This makes it the most complained about programme in entire BBC history. So, did broadcasters misjudge the public appetite for coverage of this particular royal event? Or is something else going on here? With me to discuss all this is the former BBC royal correspondent Michael Cole and the author and commentator Nels Abbey. Thanks to both of you for coming on the programme. Let me start with you, Michael Cole. More than 100,000 complaints. Did that shock you and surprise you?
Not really. I think I'm with the complainers. I think there should be a proper choice on the channels at all times. And I also think the channels got the tone completely wrong. When somebody has died at 99 after a very, very full life, the tone should be somber and very respectful and recognise the great contribution that the man has made to this country and the Commonwealth and the world at large. But some of the presenters and reporters seem to have self-appointed themselves chief pallbearer. I mean, I've never heard so much sepulchral tones and portentous deliveries. You'd think it was a death in their own families. I think there has to be a sense of proportion here. And I think what we are seeing is over the top. I mean, the BBC has never seen anything worth doing that it doesn't want to do and do too much of. And that's what's happened here. And I always believe, and I'm sure you do, Matt, that you can't report from a kneeling position. And I think we've seen a little bit too much of that.
I noticed that you're still wearing black out of respect, I assume. Michael?
Well, it is my the Lady Likes Milk tray outfit, and I got it on specially for you. I know that you're a smart dresser.
I hate milk tray. Can't stand the stuff. We've got to talk about your dress code. Hang on a minute. Nels, let me bring you in. Do you agree with Michael? Or, you know, what's the right mix between showing respect for the 99-year-old consort and not having North Korean-style blanket coverage?
So the BBC and other organisations practice events like this on an ongoing basis, on a regular basis, to make sure that it lands properly. The Duke of Edinburgh was, of course, the de facto king, but a de facto king by virtue of the fact that he was the Queen's husband for the last 74 years of this country. When somebody of that magnitude dies, given the rehearsal process and everything else, this was bound to happen. It's, yes, to a certain degree, is it excessive? Yes, it is excessive. But on the flip side of things, so are the complaints. The complaints are excessive because, again, people are now encouraged to complain. It's made very, very easy to complain than say it was in, say, 1997 when Diana died, or 2002 when the Queen Mother died. And also, too, when you actually look at it, too, for a nation such as ours, a first world, whatever that means, a very technologically advanced modern nation, even the concept of a royal family is excessive. So everything is excess upon excess upon excess here. So it's all some degree funny to look at, but the good thing about it is that nobody's getting harmed. Okay.
And do you think do you agree with Michael that the tone was too obsequious at times?
I'm not convinced that but the tone was what I would expect it to be. But yeah, you are right. There were some people who did appear to try to be mourners in chief. And yes, Michael is of course right. You can't actually report from a bended knee, but this is kind of what I expected to be. This is consistent with the coverage of the royal family.
Michael, is the BBC damned if it doesn't and damned if it does? You know, do you remember 2002, Peter Sissons, formerly of this parish, wore the crimson tie as opposed to the black tie, and all hell broke loose?
Yes, of course. This is an overreaction, of course. They were criticised for not being sufficiently respectful, reverential when the Queen Mother died. You're absolutely right. So they've gone overboard this time. But, you know, we don't need more long faces than they had at Aintree on Saturday afternoon for the Grand National. We need reporters to report. That's what they're there for. And there's plenty of facts to report. It's quite interesting to my mind on Sunday when you had the interviews with members of the royal family, Prince Charles, Prince Edward, Prince Andrew, the Countess of Wessex. they all seemed to be almost hugging themselves. They were quietly surprised at the tone of the blanket coverage, all of it fantastically positive. And I think even they think it's a little bit over the top.
Do you think, Nels, that we might have just depleted our reservoir of personal grief after this year of pandemic grieving? Is that the other thing that's going on here?
I think whenever I remember, so when Diana died, for example, in 1997, shortly afterwards, the great Christopher Hitchens had a great release, a documentary on Channel 4, nonetheless, called The Morning After, which I would actually recommend people watch on YouTube at some point or another. And it reflected the exact same thing, that this caliber of North Korean style mourning, public mourning or so, has become a standard within our society for when members of the royal family pass away. And it's just where we are as a society right now, and I think it's where we'll be for a long time to come.
Okay, Michael, finally and briefly, I mean, we did watch the Oprah interview with Harry and Meghan en masse, and we did actually watch their wedding en masse. Maybe you didn't, but lots of people did. Is it that we like royal stories, but that are a little bit, irreverent and a bit fruity?
Listen, I'm a great fan of a constitutional monarchy. It suits the British temperament absolutely beautifully. But I think we're also a moderate nation. We're famous for it. A little bit of moderation is required here. Does no harm at all. Let us be reverent at the right times. Let us be mournful. Let us accept what the man has done. Let us recognise him. But let's not throw our hat over the windmill.
Okay, got to leave there. Michael Cole, as milk tray man, thank you very much. Nels Abbey as himself, thank you very much indeed to both of you.